What's up, everybody? It's the movie guy. So I found this movie on Tubi the other night, and I watched it tonight. Chernobyl 1986, which is also called Chernobyl Abyss, which I'm very fascinated with the Chernobyl nuclear plant disaster. It's a really interesting part of history. I love the Craig Mason miniseries. So this is a foreign movie made in Russia, and it was directed by Danila Kozlowski, who played Alex, and also stars uh, Oksana Akinshina, which can see right there. There is Oksana right there. And when I was watching this movie, I kept thinking, like, where have I seen her before? And I was just like, oh my God, that's right. She was in the Born Supremacy. She was Irene Nesky, the one where Jason Bourne goes and visits her apartment. And the first half of this movie was basically, I remember somebody said online it was like the Titanic of the Chernobyl disaster, and they were right. They were definitely right because it was basically a love story where like these two weren't together, and then they kind of got back together, and then he showed up drunk to her apartment, and she's like, "Get out!" And then when they're finally getting people out of Kiev, it was like they got on the bus, and then he decided to get off the bus because his duty was to be there. And then at one point they meet up at a hospital, and then she's like smacking him and asking him why did he get off the bus and everything. And there's another point later close to the end of the movie where I think they're getting back together and they start kissing and stuff and everything. And she's like, I can't do this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And there was when it was about the, when it was about the Chernobyl disaster, it was definitely really interesting. I don't understand how when Alex was going to the nuclear plant and everybody else was throwing up and getting sick and having radiation poison and stuff and everything, how was he not throwing up and everything? Like, how did he not have it? I was so confused because if you watch Craig Mazin series, like most of the firefighters there were pretty much, they were gone. They had so much radiation. I mean, they did show when the firefighters went to the hospital and they were taking off the clothes and they put the clothes down in the basement. They did get that right. The son of Olga was they were riding bikes at like almost 1:30 in the morning. Why, you know, they had their kids out at 1:30 in the morning riding bikes, and they're like uh there was like three kids, and the power plant, the nuclear plant exploded, and they were right there, and so he got like a huge dose of radiation poison. And there was a point where he got really sick, and then they shipped him, or they flew him to with other people with sick to Switzerland to get radiation treatment. And there was like one point in the movie where I don't know what they were doing. The one guy, they were under the nuclear plant, and the guy opened the door, and there was the fire, and the guy kept walking, and he was like, "Oh, look, it's bright." And I'm like, "Why are you walking towards the door?" I don't understand the whole thing, what they were trying to do at that point when there was all that water, and they went to the fuse box and everything. And there was one point where it was like if you've seen the Craig Mazin series where they had the three guys like head to toe covered, that um that said that they were going to go and turn the water off, or the water was filled. They had to turn the wheel that was not underneath water, but they had to walk through all this water and stuff and everything. And then this one, they had to dive underneath the water, which is I was really weird why they changed that. And there was only two and not three. And then one of them didn't make it, and I was just like, that's not accurate because all three people who went to relieve the water made it, and one of them passed away, I think early 2000. The other two is still alive, and I was like, the it was not underneath the water, and I don't know how hot the water was, but they said in here it was like 140 degrees, and I was like, their mouths were exposed or their part of their face, and I was like, that's radioactive water. I'm like, what the hell? They didn't even. I'm really surprised they didn't show the liquidators, the guys going up on the roof to get rid of the graphite. But I feel like it focused too much on the love story between Alex and Olga, and it was like, oh, we're gonna sprinkle a little bit of the power plant. There, I keep saying power plant, nuclear plant into this movie. So I was just like really confused. I thought this would be more about, the disaster than like, some love story, Titanic, Chernobyl knockoff, something, whatever. But I mean, I give it like a 5.5 out of 10. I think it was okay. Like, I wish they would have focused more on the disaster than the love story between them two and stuff and everything. But when it was focused on Chernobyl, on the disaster, it was really interesting. It was really cool. But yeah, it was good for one time. This is a movie I'll never watch again or anything. But anyway, my quick thoughts on Chernobyl 1986. If you want to check it out, it's on Tubi. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you later.